Give thanks every time. This is one of my AI employees clocking out of a real shift. As you can see, I've got it highlighted, the research agent. And from this view, I can see how its shift works, what other employees that it communicates with, and how that basically flows across an entire workflow. So, this did a week of market research for my business and it billed me about 34 cents. Notion, if you're familiar, it is an external tool mostly used for businesses. So Notion sells something with the exact same name I use for these custom agents. So custom agents was the name that I basically gave these. And that was after like first trying out Hermes agents and Claudebot, a few different like agent styles of agents before realizing I could build my own agent team better if I built it myself. I just had to learn how to do it and learn the technical skills. And I mean, it took me like 6 months of like grinding like almost every day, but I did it. I mean, it's not easy. So Notion sells something with the exact same name I use, custom agents. Basically, it's an AI team inside Notion that works while you sleep. So I had to check it out. I had to see like how does this compare to my agent team, because I'm always trying to find something better so that I can take what is better and implement that into my system. But it looks like I'm getting to a point where it's really difficult for me to find any system that works better than mine. So like that's what I'm trying to find. So if you can see anything that's, that I'm saying about my system that you think could be better, please feel free to let me know. I won't take it as any kind of offense. Like I would like to know. So now I can cover Notion. And I mean, now that I understand these systems so well, I can understand Notion and what it's doing. And I've been covering all these other models too. So Notion's been out since February. 21,000 agents got built just in the beta. However, I'm just seeing it now. Like, I didn't know about this until now because it's trending right now on social media, and people in AI social media are just now discovering it, it seems, right after the free period ended. And it's all about like paying to use it now. So you're basically renting, and now it costs money. So I think this is great news, but there is one difference between what they sell and what you are looking at right now, and it's the whole game. Notion's agents work inside Notion. Mine work on my business because they stand on a database I own. So let me show you what one difference changes. And there are more than one differences, but there's one major difference, and this is like everything. So here's what Notion actually shipped. Basically, you can describe a job that you have in plain English. The agents run on a schedule inside your workspace, inside Notion. They can read and edit your pages and databases, all your drafts, and they can organize basically anything while you're away. So, like the basic tasks that an AI agent would do, that like all AI agents do, they do that. It just does it inside of Notion. This is Notion's version. I think last week I was learning all about Grok's version. I think Notion is a little bit better than Grok's. Um, this is the main thing that I'm going to tell you about right now, the main difference. So it's not as this main difference that I have in my system. My system is better. Notion is not as good. Grok is not as good as Notion. That's how I'm rating it right now based on this one metric. So, like I said, Notion's version's been out since February and it goes on Notion's own credits. That's how you pay for it. So it's not like an API. Like you basically use Notion's own form of credits and they charge you based on their own rate. They have a credit meter. It's always running. So if you're just discovering Notion right now, you're going to find a paid product. And if your whole business already lives in Notion, this is a genuinely good deal if you are not a technical person. It's easier to start than anything I've built. It does not require a server. It does not require anything to be coded, and it can start working in minutes. But here's the boundary. Every one of these agents can only see and only touch what lives inside Notion. That is not a bug. That is the product. You are renting a very smart employee who is not allowed to leave one room. So basically, if your business is already on Notion, then you got a lot of your business information on Notion. If it's not, then you've got to migrate a lot of data into Notion to get this to really be different than just like a Grokbot or a Hermes agent or any of these other agents. So this is the main thing, is that Notion has a better database, but there still are restrictions with the Notion database. So now I'm going to talk about what is standing on your own database. It's all about the spine. So my agents stand on one shared database I own. The research lands in it. All my analytics land in it. Everything across my business goes into this database. I consider it to be called a spine. So all of my information is in this one spine. From what I understand about Notion is that it doesn't automatically collect the information the way that I can set up my database with agents to automatically collect the information. Maybe you could train agents to do that with Notion, but then you're going to be restricted by Notion's own connections. So basically, if you want to use an API or any kind of tool, it has to have a special Notion kind of like a feature on it so that it can work with Notion. Whereas like I'm just free to use whatever tool that I want that exists, and even like create my own tools if I have a problem and I need to find a workaround. Notion can't really do that, at least not from what I'm understanding. So let me show you this flow. We got a different view of the flow. And basically, I'm showing you one loop. The research agent wrote this week's research into the database. The outcome tracker wrote how last week's videos actually did. And then next week, the researcher reads those results before it does anything new. My agents read each other's work. That is part of the rented agent locked in one app can never do for my business. So basically, that's part of the rented agent lock-in. I mean, it's locked in, so it can't, when it's rented, like it's going off a database that Notion owns. Notion owns that database. Notion decides how that database is structured. A rented agent resets, an own system compounds. Your context is the moat. Your context is the moat. That is very important. The database has been running my business for months. The first standing agent clocked in on it at the end of July. Building this was not easy, and I'm still building. And I mean, like, building it was actually easier than getting it working correctly. Because it's like, I can tell with these systems, you pretty much have to build them. There's going to be a lot of issues and bugs, just like building an app. Then you got to go through and squash the bugs, and then it's actually working right. So months of work, live on camera. A lot of it I did not live too. But renting is easier to start. Owning is better to run. All right, so now I'm going to show you the receipts. So here's how each agent I own, I can actually see the receipts, and I can see how much it costs to run, how long it takes to run, the models, the different costs in the models. I can do a lot of tests right on my own database. Like, I can set up tests on my database to test different models. When a new model comes out, I can set up a test so I can test it really quick instead of having to like test it in real time. And let me know if you want me to do a video on that too. So every shift, every agent, I can see the bill. This research shift last week was about 34 cents. That agent's whole career so far has cost me about less than $2. The entire fleet shares one $5 a month server. I pick which brain each employee gets. The researcher runs on one of the most expensive models on the market because it feeds everything else. I believe with Notion, you get to pick which brain you want to use, which model, but I think it's kind of limited. I'm not sure if you can use all the different models that are, say, in like a deep router, but it should have like all the main primary models, like all the frontier models. So nothing ships without crossing me. 16 standing agents across 2 businesses so far, and the one job that never gets automated is the approval button for me. Because I run AI, AI does not run I. So, probably asking yourself, or maybe, should you rent or should you own your agents? So, rent agents is best when your business lives in one tool. If you need it working today, if you do not want to build anything, or if you do not know how to build anything, or you do not want to learn, There's no shame in that at all. You get to decide as a human being where you want to send your focus and your energy and your priorities. If you want to learn tech and you want to learn how to build better tools, that's cool. If you would rather just pay somebody like me to do it for you, that's cool. If you would rather just like get something on Notion set up like really quick and understand that it's not going to be as good as doing this other system long term, that's cool. It's whatever you want to do. The choice is up to you. So you'd want to own when your business crosses tools. You use different tools in your business, which is most businesses. You want the context to compound. Most businesses. You want receipts. All businesses. You want to choose the brain. And I mean, I think you can still choose with Notion. It's just not that many choices. But I mean, that can change. That's not that big of a deal. Just something to add. So, Notion just taught millions of people the words custom agent. That helps everybody building in this space, including me. There's room for everybody. I don't even see Notion as competition. I just see it as collaboration. I see it as like, they can see what I'm doing on their team. They can learn from me. I can see what they're doing. I can learn from them. We have different use cases, different customers. I mean, if people understand what they're doing and what they're getting into, then yes, that's the case. But if people see the words custom agents and they get in their mind like I would, what I just built, and then they get on Notion, then they would probably be disappointed. At least I would if I saw that and then I started using it and found out what it was and I knew what else was possible. So, giving you the honest split on renting or owning. Next thing I want to talk about is my prediction on agents based on what I've seen with Notion. So this is my opinion, just a prediction, but I think that every big platform, every big AI company is gonna use the words custom agents, and that's gonna get put on something that's basically rented inside of their app that they own, that you pay for already. So the word custom is going to start meaning customized settings, but not custom built. So every time I think of custom, I think like custom built, like for that specific business. Like, this system will not work in any other business. This system is custom for this. But how Notion to me basically is using it is just saying like the settings are customized. So that's what I'm seeing. So when that blur happens, the people who own their data layer are the ones whose systems keep compounding the whole time. And in business, it's very important to know that you gotta keep up to date with what's going on. Like if your competitors have a like considerably better system than you, I mean that's gonna like, especially over time and compounding, you're gonna notice it. The platforms will sell you the employee, but nobody's gonna sell you the spine. You're going to have to build that. You're going to have to pay somebody to build it. As of right now, I do not see any solution to this so far. None has been built. So Anthropic already ships scheduled agents anybody can run. Notion just did this. All right, so I'm not telling you Notion got anything wrong. I'm telling you to know which one you are buying. An employee in one room or a system on a foundation you own. If you want to see how someone like me, who is not a developer, builds their own systems, go ahead, grab my free Claude Code Starter Kit. The link is in the description below. It's the exact setup I use. That's where you want to get started. So, give thanks every time for life, health, and strength. Keep on building. Live the life you love and love the life you live. And I'll see you in the next one.